Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a squat day. And I'm not going to call it a squat deadlift day because I didn't do any deadlifting, although I did a bunch of high rep hip hinging, which will carry over to my deadlift. So here's the name of the game today. I want to keep working the pause squats. I want to be able to start doing squat volume for the quads, but I also really want to focus on the pause work. So I ramped up today. I feel like these are deeper. I'm getting much deeper at the heavy pause squats, right? Getting much deeper at these. So ramped up. This is 415. Then I did 445. In the 445, I sank it pretty deep, held it for about 3 seconds, brought it up. Felt pretty heavy. It wasn't a true max, but it was definitely heavy. So again, working with this high bar position, and I'm almost at a point where I can get a really good grip on the bar. Continuing to work the shoulder health, working the shoulder mobility, which you guys have seen me discuss. And again, I'm going to start working more conditioning and stuff in. It's like I've said, I need to be a more well-rounded athlete. I want to work on mobility, and I want to, again, let's do high bar squats. And I used to do high bar at meets, and I remember a really well-known strength coach even telling me when I did the nationals in the UK, it's like I really like to see lifters come in and do a high bar squat like that because it just makes you a better athlete. And, I think that's interesting because you've seen a lot of the starting strength guide and other people always talked about the low bar, but it was a coach by the name of Matt Griffin. Good guy. I met him at a couple different meets when I was over there. I know he's just a good coach and a good dude all around. But I remember him telling me that when he was judging, head judge on my squat. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So what I did there, I held that for about 3. Then I'm like, let me go down 375. I want to hold this for about 10 seconds. So I dropped this one down, went as deep as I could. Notice it gets deeper the longer I hold it. And I really want to mess with this for both stretch-mediated hypertrophy and working my mobility. So I did that. Then I'm like, I want to work on seeing if I can do front squats. Now, front squats were pretty difficult. I'm still struggling a little bit with the rack position. So I came in and just ramped up. Actually, I did some lighter ramp ups with this. So this is 235, it's a 55-pound bar. Again, I'm not able to necessarily sink these as deep, although it's not bad. So I just wanted to kind of see what I could get up to. And I managed to get 285 for a single, but I'm running into the issues of my wrists and stuff hurting. So I'm like, okay, I want to keep working on this. Something I've said also, I want to get my front squat really strong. I'd like to get that high bar squat without a belt up past 500. But I think something I even said, the other day, a 405 front squat's a good strength, but a 500 would be awesome. So again, I'm going to have to build that up. And yes, I know I've got some love handle there and loose skin. I'm at a point where I don't care. I don't care what people think. Right? Get over it. Probably going to get leaner anyways. As soon as I start adding the conditioning work in, I'm probably going to get leaner whether I want to or not. It's just going to happen. I think it's going to be unavoidable because I do want to work on conditioning again. I want to be able to start running again. Because that's another point to bring up. It doesn't matter that I'm 46 and all of that. And it raises the question, if you can't run, are you an athlete? Man. So again, strength standards, but I got a good pump from those. I just dropped down to that for 145. I'm like, man, I got a nice little quad pump. I do want to start working on some high rep squats. I feel like also once I get that range of motion down, which I seem to be getting to, I do want to mess with some like 20 rep squats. Again, and I know that's crazy, but it does work for building your legs up, right? The biggest my legs have ever been, I was doing the 20 rep squats. So this, I'm like, let me drop down to this, just 2 plates and hold it for 20 seconds. So after I got a quad pump from the front squats, like, let me just go into this and just see if I can hold this for 20 seconds. I did, brought it up, and it's like, okay. So, we really only did a little bit of true dynamic work for the quads, but they got a pump from that. And I really wanted to just load all that stretching today. Then I wanted to do some high reps for posterior chain. Now, I'm trying to do good mornings with this bar. As I'm getting better at gripping it, getting the shoulder mobility back, I want to just get used to trying to hold this bar in position. And it rolled a lot on me, so that made these difficult, but it still stretched the hell out of my hamstrings and they got a pump. So I'm like, let me just try to see if I can get to 20 reps with this. And again, had to readjust the bar a little bit, but that's the other thing. I've got to get used to this bar being up on my back, right? In a high bar position. I'm going to have to learn to deal with it rolling a little, learn to get stable, get my shoulders to where I can grip it really good. I need to find that sweet spot. Stuff like this is going to force me to do that. Once we do that, then we're really in a good place to just build my high bar Olympic squat, right? Because again, let's talk about being a real athlete. I should be able to high bar ass to grass 500 plus, okay? I should be able to. Am I a real athlete, right? So let's discuss that. You know what? I think in order for me to really say that I'm a true athlete and truly strong, yeah, I should be able to high bar squat over 500. I need to be able to do 20 dead hang pull-ups. I need to be able to run a 5K. Okay. These are reasonable goals. So, reverse hypers. I realize since I'm not getting quite as much posterior chain work, I'm not loading it as heavy doing that. I'm like, I need to push these reverse hypers up. I feel like when I did go a little heavier on them, they definitely carried over a lot to my deadlift. So I'm like, well, let me just load a little more weight on here. So now I've got 6 of those 55s. Try to get to 20. If I can get 20 reps, I can only do it twice, and then notice the hamstring starting to cramp a little. Okay, now we're getting into some work. I'm like, I better call it there, because I did the good mornings. Keep in mind, guys, I did other posterior chain work, obviously, earlier this week, especially the deficit deadlifts. I'm like, I've got to build all this stuff up. So now I'm getting a baseline for these other newer movements. Now we start getting some volume on them. Start using them for hypertrophy. But I did mostly stretch mediated stuff and just wanted a really good pump for the posterior chain. And then you guys can see, I'm going to show again at the end that pause squat. Again, the range of motion is improving, right? Range of motion is improving. I feel like if I keep this up, I'm going to be able to do 500 this way in a relatively short period of time, right? I think I'm going to need a couple weeks though of also doing some high rep, 20 rep squats to get the quads big enough. But once they're there, I think I'll be able to do it. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.